Dear Terrarians, in this episode we'll have our first guest, who is a very special guest, and it's always a pleasure talking to her. And also this is a video episode, so you can find the video on YouTube, Portals to Terra. And I just want to say that none of us are mental health experts. We're just basically speaking out of our asses and our hearts and our emotions. And I think it was an interesting conversation I had with her. It's always fun talking to her. This is Auditory Portals to Terra. Prepare your brains to get fucked. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Portals to Terra.
Portals?
That's what it's called. Yeah, that's what it calls, because this is how it started. I'll tell you how it started, but let me just bring you on first.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Turn that off.
Thank you. Let's just bring you on first. Today we have the first guest ever on this podcast that nobody listens to. This microphone is not recording, by the way, is aesthetics, because then we realized we need to be really close to it. But our guest has really good gear. Yeah, she's got this Rodecaster.
I was all set.
But we can't use it. Our guest, so 3 years ago when I started to do comedy here, you were already there?
No, I started this around the same time as you did, comedy.
Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, she was already there.
Yeah, I was, because I was there before. Like house, it was called Comedy House.
Let me give you an intro. Let me give you an intro.
ADD.
And then ADD, OCD here. We got along. Traumatized. We got along over all that, and I also loved her style of comedy, because okay, so there are some people in that scene who are more polished. They write jokes and shit. You and I
very rigid. I know, because
really,
our brains work differently.
Our brains work differently, and that's why when I saw her, especially talking about racism, because she's American, Hungarian, Nigerian.
Yeah. I just don't have a Nigerian passport, but I got
all that at once, all in one. and I was just like, I really liked how straight from the heart her set was, and she just like killed it, like the hurricane. So. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Maria, Mama. So, yeah.
No, but I actually felt the same way. That meant a lot. Because there's certain comedians that I saw that I'm like, yeah, you real.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's others that I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be like judgmental, you know, but some people is like, you got to get to know yourself. Like, you know, like you can't keep, like, that's the reason I was drawn to comedy. I don't know. You told me that narcissists, you know, there's a bunch of narcissists, but I was drawn to it because it's one of those things that I feel like it can humble you, because you're going to bomb, you're going to make mistakes, and it trains you you have to train yourself to you know, make the mistakes and pick yourself back up, versus a narcissist or, you know, anyone who's too egotistical is going to be like, I'm the best. You know, you're going to laugh, and then they can't go. So I like that. I was like,
no, I don't really think we have real narcissists in this.
I don't think so either.
I've seen some,
really?
but thank God, I think
I just
nowadays,
don't think they can last.
I think that the community that we have now, I think they're really cool. Like whatever the reason.
Yes.
I think that most of us really like comedy nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, like
we've been
you know, and I'm just happy. Today I heard that our friend Saeed, Kitty, and Noah got another TV gig. Apparently.
Oh, another one.
Yeah,
they were
congratulations to them.
Oh, congrats!
And I'm really.
I was at the one they were at, the first one.
The Comedy Central one. No, I think it's another one.
I
think they got it. I don't know what's going on. But what my point is that when I heard that they got this, I was genuinely really happy.
Yeah.
That, you know, for I just felt like, we are all like, you know what I mean? Like,
because I'm like, I know them, you know, like,
that's
you know, those are my peoples. We share the stage together.
Because and I've seen their progress and what they do and how much really they've worked on it. So
and how they've evolved. Some of them I've seen, like Saeed. I've noticed his you know, evolution.
But you're right. Also, we've seen with the narcissists. But the thing is, with the narcissists, they don't last.
They don't.
They quit.
They don't.
They quit after a while. They realize that they're here for the wrong reasons.
And that is why I like it, because I'm like, aha! You can't compete with me here because I'm willing to lose. I'm willing to fuck it up. I'm willing to be embarrassed, and I've already done it. I've already been embarrassed. Yeah. So it's like,
truth will tell.
Yeah.
Truth will, because if your reason for doing comedy is some ego rub, whatever that is.
It shows. You know, people are gonna tell.
And you can't be funny.
You can't.
Because you're not enjoying the comedy to begin with. Yeah. You're thinking, what can I write and say to get them attention or whatever.
Yes.
But to us, it's just, we want to say this.
Yes.
It's not about what I say. It's not like, people are like, why don't you change your set to become like that because it'll work better. I'm like, I don't want to say anything. I want to say what I want to say.
Yes, that was like your voice.
Yeah, my allegiance is to the stories I want, the things that I find interesting, and I want to share it to you.
Yeah.
If you like it, cool, but I'm not going to bend that to become interesting for you.
Yeah.
Because then who am I?
Because then who exactly?
Then I might as well go watch Louis C.K. or somebody.
Exactly.
Why do you want me?
That's exactly what how I feel. Because I'm like, if you go on stage and you're a totally different person and you're playing, I mean, you can create your persona. That's different. I'm talking about you're copying like Chris Rock. Like I remember one of the comedians was like, you're like Tiffany Haddish. And I was like, yeah, cool, I'm complimenting. But I'm like, I'm not going to do the exact, I'm not her. I don't have her story. Yeah. And if you get on stage and you're somebody else, I'm like, who are you? I want to know this comedian, like your story, because that's the art of it. It's you're creating either your persona, or you're sharing your stories, or you're sharing your perspective, you know? So,
However, like, of course, your own unique voice. But actually, today I was listening to Tiffany Haddish on Tiger Belly, Bobby Lee's podcast.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite podcast.
Really? I don't know. I've never.
It's the best because I think.
Bobby Lee?
Tiger Belly. Because
Tiger King?
Tiger Belly.
Oh.
No, I think you'll like it because, you know, it's Bobby, his girlfriend, and they have this third wheel called Gilbert and another guy called George. So it's a full room. Even when they do solo episodes, there's 4 of them. And they come from a place of, again, trauma, mental health problems, and they're really open about it. But,
I love that.
But not in a victim-y way. You know, like they don't go like, oh, we are BB sensitive. No, it's just, I love it. So
accepting the shit as it is. Like,
making jokes with it, you know. And Tiffany Haddish was on, and I was listening, I was like, you guys have, like, something in common. In terms of the jokes you make, like, about just being... honest and a bit like very extroverted.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite comedians. Yeah. So I take that as a compliment, you know. Yeah. And I look up to her.
You should check that episode. It is really funny. But so how did you start comedy? Because you're from, like, did you do it back in the States? Or
I was always just interested. Like, ever since I was a kid, even my mom used to say this, like, she could tell that I wanted to be a performer. It's just in my Nigerian background, that shit was like, you have to be doctor. What are you doing? You're my friend. You're wasting your energy. My friend, go and study. I'll read your books. But I was always into writing plays. I remember the first time I was doing improv in America, and I was like, what the fuck? This is like my home. And so that's kind of what I was doing here. But then it wasn't available, you know, and there was just comedy. So at that moment, I was like in the lowest, you know, like the biggest breakdown. I don't know if you've ever reached that, but I know I have, and I hope I don't go lower. Like, I'm pleased. But it was like the lowest of the low. I was losing my sense of self, lost my voice, and all this, like, the biggest, like, drama that could possibly happen in my life was happening, you know, like people breaking in my house, threats. I mean, just crazy shit. It's like an action movie. And that when I would start telling the story to people, they would, like, laugh, but I was really actually telling them my horror story. Like, can you believe what this nigga did? And they would start laughing. I was like, it's not funny. It's my life. You're like, is it real?
Wow.
And so that's what made me go like, okay, I'm the lowest of the low. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm gonna die soon probably because I'm so sad and depressed. And might as well just tell these stories that anyways people laugh about. And I just remember the first time I went on stage and I just told like a story, and I just figured that I would figure out if I was a comedian or not or whatever. I just wanted to go up there, and people laughed, and I was like, I like this, like you understand what I'm saying.
Was it in Hungary the first time you went there?
It was in English. I wouldn't dare try Hungarian. And
no, but was it here in Budapest?
Yeah, here.
Okay.
And I was just
which one was it?
The house bar. Because we did improv house. Okay. And then I was working a lot in Austria. Then I came back and they canceled that and they just turned it into a comedy house. So I was like, no improv.
Yeah.
All right, let me try this shit. If there's nothing else, I need some kind of art form. And then I saw all you guys and I was like, these people are so cool, And,
yeah. And Karen is still doing that. Is she doing the improv night?
Yeah.
If she is, shout out to Karen. If anybody in Budapest want to try improv stuff. Me neither.
Yeah.
But we should hit up anyway.
Yeah.
So
but that was like my improv was like the only thing that I felt like it's like I wasn't good at math. I was good at English, but when I was testing because of my ADD, I felt like I was dumb. But I was like, improv, this shit is like easy breezy. Like this shit is so fun.
The most ADD.
Yeah, the most ADD.
Yeah.
And turns out stand-up comedy is great for people with ADD. Or neurodivergence. I don't know if OCD is neurodivergent, but our brains don't work like the typicals, like very rigid.
Like it's so funny because we are the opposite, I think, because they're both it's ADD people. They can't keep their attention in one place.
Yeah,
we can't take our attention off of a particular thing, so we become obsessed with a certain thought, and we want to go over and over the same scenario to try to fix it and perfect it, and then to the point that's at some point it can be even like this is like the stupid things like catheter, because I joked about it on stage.
Whoa!
I know if you but I joke about it because I had actual problems with catheter. With I haven't had a catheter, but
I had.
But my OCD.
The catheter is a P. I had that shit.
We'll talk about it.
It was horrific.
But it's just an OCD because my grandpa had it when I was a teenager, and somehow in my brain it became the biggest threat on earth. And that every once in a while, if anybody brings it up, I'll just go sit there and I'm thinking back catheter for and then the way, so it's not even the pain or anything, it's that I want to know how it feels. I want to get it over with. To the point that I want to go to a hospital and be like, can you put the catheter in?
Wow.
And they're like, but you don't need it. I'm like, yeah, I just want to get it over with. I just want to get it over with. And I'm like, but you don't fucking need it. So it's over with. You can go home and pretend like you've already done it. But no, I want to know that I'm strong enough to solve this problem if it ever comes. So then I'm watching all these videos. Yeah. I'm watching all these videos and I'm just like panicking. So to me, for us, we have to force ourselves to be more like you guys so we can live life. No, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you guys want to be more like us, you want to focus more, and we want to not focus more and let it naturally roll out.
No, but I was before you finished, I was about to say, oh, I relate to that. Yeah. But at the very end, I was like, no, I go the opposite. Like I don't want to know if you play me. Like I don't want to know nothing. I just run. But like with the ADD, it's very misunderstood because yes, my brain is going. So sometimes my behavior. I remember you said this when you were on stage one time, and I'll never forget it. Where you labeled me a narcissist, and I was like,
I didn't.
I think it was. I don't know what you. I don't know.
I didn't.
Or you said narcissist.
Never.
Look, I remember it was like, to me, it was like yesterday, okay? I remember my brain is like core memory because I remember being like, am I giving up those signs? Because you know, but
I swear to God, I never caught.
But my point was like, with ADD, like sometimes your behavior, if people don't know you have ADD, you can come off looking like a narcissist. Mm-hmm. Like, I only noticed this when I watch myself on a video and I'm like, oh, that was rude. Because I'll be like this and I'm like, and I just turn away or I'm talking to somebody or I cut him off and it's so rude. And it seems like I'm, conceited, but it's just, my brain is just, I don't notice it. But, so my brain is like that, but at the same time, if my brain wants to, it will focus on that's why with comedy, I just chose that, like anything, if my brain is, it'll stick with it. So I don't know, and then there's some thoughts. It's called intrusive thoughts.
Yes.
That it just won't like today. I even had one issue where I got screwed over with buying something at Apple. Like they made me buy some extra shit, so I was looking for the receipt, and I just kept replaying the whole thing. I was like, you see how these motherfuckers get me? And I was like, yeah, I just kept on thinking about it over, and it just almost ruined my day. Like I had to get out, and that's when I started drinking. I was like, look, I gotta go. Write some jokes or some shit, because my brain will just keep thinking about it, and unless I just step out. So I don't know. It's not quite like yours where I have to go and experience it.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I don't. I don't necessarily have to go, but it's exactly the same. It is intrusive thoughts too.
Yeah.
So, but the key to solve it actually is just like scientifically proven one answer, and that is ERP, exposure and response prevention, which is a part of cognitive behavior therapy.
Yeah.
Which I need that. Yeah, too. But I'm gonna butcher it. Like the basics of it is that if you say no to the thought, so let's play a game.
Okay.
Don't think about a white bear.
I will think about the white bear.
So we can't not, and this is a problem that I've heard a lot of people say, I can't meditate. I'm like, how? It's the easiest thing to do.
Really?
But here's how.
I just started learning that. Like I finally got the heap. Like I've been doing it a lot. I never got it until I finally got to the point where like, aha, that.
What do you use?
Now I've been using Oculus because it it helps because I have a visual versus like there's this Indian dude that I listen to on Netflix. I know y'all like people are like, oh, this is like the generic. I'm sorry. I use these every techniques. I've been doing it for.
Is it the same guy who fixes your modem and shit? Like when your TV's not working, there's always an Indian dude.
No, this is an Indian. He sounds British and he went to India.
Imagine that guy doing you know which one I'm talking about? The tech Indian dude. Imagine that guy doing like meditation.
Okay.
Have you tried plugging yourself?
Breathe. no, but he's
imagine
really
that
good.
guy, yeah.
No, there's one thing that I love and I still practice it that he taught that I used during the Netflix and like during the day, even during comedy when I'm whatever. It's called the noting technique. It's training you to be the observer of your brain. So you're not trying to stop your thoughts, which I'm like, damn, why didn't nobody tell me this shit earlier, man? I've been trying to control my thoughts by controlling it, by not thinking or I'm not angry.
Yeah.
That like the polar bear thing. But this noting technique is just like, it gives you, like if you observe it and if you have a thought, oh, you thought about that motherfucker betrayed me, I'm gonna fucking fuck him up. Oh, a thought. You don't do anything, don't create, because your brain is going to create stories. So you just notice that, when your brain is lost in thought, like, oh, that's a thought. And then let it go. And then gently move yourself back in. And then there's different times where you can let your thoughts just wander and then you're observing. So it's really cool. Yeah. I don't know. I think just in November, December, I started doing that. And I've just been like.
Yeah, that's exactly what, even ERP at the ends of it. Now, I was joking with you said the Indian guy on YouTube, I was joking, but actually, all of this stuff comes from India, from thousands of years ago.
And they got something.
They do. And it's the problem is that the Western civilization was so obsessed with producing and creating and maximizing our freaking income, that I think, now I don't want to go full like Karen and stuff, but there is a reason.
I have my beef with capitalism, Doesn't mean I have the solution.
No, I mean, I'm not all full essential oily whatever, but I'm just saying there is that we should learn from why there is this appeal of like Eastern stuff.
Because there's some truth
this
to
fucking tea. What is it called? Enquisada?
Tell me what it is, because I want one of that. What does it do?
Immune system.
Okay, I eat garlic.
Down, fucking like and it's working.
What's it called? E. coli?
I'll send you. No, E. coli is a fucking tapeworm or something.
This is what I want to mention. Like this guy, but this is the best. I'm gonna use this as a joke, for real, because I think it's the funniest shit. Like I was telling everybody, everyone's laughing. Like how it's like even if I make it.
Are we too loud?
No.
Is it okay for them? Okay.
Do you know how they be playing like techno music?
Okay, good.
And I just deal with it. Like I deal with it.
Okay.
Like I don't complain. You know. What was? Oh fuck! Now I forgot my third friend. What was I saying? Fuck.
Oh
yeah.
But we're talking about meditation.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Go on with that.
So you were saying.
The meditation one or
Yeah.
the what? Okay, what about you?
What were you?
Because this is the funniest shit. Like you are like you have such a character. Like I love it, but like okay, so
What
I have
happened?
under normal circumstances I don't give a fuck about much, but I do have a gag reflex. Like me and my best friend were like that. Like if you throw up, I'm gonna be like, I'm right here, man. I'm right here with you. Let it out. Like I'm not gonna be that one that's gonna be like cleaning up. Like I just because
You're
both of
off
us.
frame, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Because both of us would be throwing up, together, you know. So it's like that. So like when we were both sick, we were both talking about it, and he's like, "You were like, you have this kind of phlegm." I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And we were both, I was like, "Oh God, okay, on the same boat." And then you sent me a picture, and you like look at it. I was like.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't like. I'm not saying it because I don't.
True,
because if not, I would have said something. I thought it was the funniest shit.
I don't understand because I'm like this is again OCD. Sometimes I'm so.
I'm not telling you to change.
Am I terminally ill because I've had COVID, people? Anyways. And then, and flu and sinusitis and bronchitis, I guess, a bunch of fucking problems.
I wonder if I have OCD or some kind of spectrum because I understand that whole thing. Every fucking time I'd be like, I'm planning my will because I'm gonna die. Mm-hmm. I might as well write my story because I'm gonna die. Because I'm always expecting.
And so when I show my mucus to people, I don't understand that for them maybe, and I'm so dumb because I would look at other people's poo, to be honest. Like if you tell me, hey, how's my picture though? How's my poo? I'll be like, okay, let me see, and I'll get in.
Picture, I got limits. I got.
Because I've studied it. I studied so much online shit on WebMD for no reason that I want to put that shit to use.
No, but I love that about you. That's why, and I think that's why I'm like, I think it's so cute and it's funny and it's even like literally it's inspiration for a character. Like I think it's the funniest shit. Like you think that. And I feel honored that I'm like
it was you.
He feels so comfortable, because I wouldn't be. I'll be like, it's like it's roses,
Yeah. Okay.
But
anyway, I see reality. They say George Washington had the same strength. He saw things for what they are, not what he wanted them to be.
I think So
I apply that to my mucus. Like he did it with war strategy and stuff. He was like, when he wanted to go to war, and it was like I don't know. Charles Lee was like. We can take the British Army, but they couldn't. Washington retreated. Do you see that? I'm the same with my mucus. Anyways.
Okay.
So, meditation is the same principle as ERP, I think, because it's the same. It's that you don't say, like, how you start controlling your breath?
Yeah.
Like, actively? And then when you want to go automatic, it's hard.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, come on. You used to be able to do this or blinking, If you pay attention to it, you take control of the automatic process. And then you can't bring it back to...
There's so much truth to that.
You know what I mean? It's the same with thoughts.
Yeah.
The same thing, just applied to thoughts. So we should just...
And you're young, 10 years younger than me, and you know this shit. Where were you before this? Why did you tell me this shit?
Because of the internet and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's not because of age. I think it's that all of us learned this at the same time.
Right.
I think my parents learned this at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's something like society just learned.
Because growing up, there was no benefits. Like, I had no help from my ADD. I was fucking struggling. I was thinking I was an idiot and now I look back and I'm like, it's a motherfucking miracle. I don't know how I got into University of Florida. Miracles, I'm like, what am I thinking? I'm, having low self-esteem about myself, but it's because of the schooling system. But anyway, what was that? Yeah, but like, one thing.
Do you want to talk about the U.S. schooling system?
Not before this, that I want to just quickly say. Okay, feeling your emotions. I fucking wasted so much of my fucking time analyzing my thoughts because I had no clue that there was such a thing as regulating your emotions. I was always told, Maria, control yourself, control. And so I'm like, so it's no wonder I'm still fucking tense. I'm still massaging myself, trying to fucking be like, oh goddamn. But you know what? How feeling emotions are? It's literally describing what you feel like. I would feel like I started noticing, damn, I'm tense a lot. I am chronically tense. I'm chronically like, and then I just realized I'm like, what am I afraid of? Like, I'm acting like the cops is coming. You know, why am I Freddy Gonzalez like ready to, you know? So you describe that. And then that's you feeling it, and because otherwise you feel it, and your brain is gonna go automatically to the usual story. And then if you're feeling, what is the word? You have an attachment issue or something, and you're feeling abandoned. It may just be like your brain or the other person may really be abandoning you, but by feeling it, then it can help you at least stop that feeling of going into some irrational untruth, that your brain is lying about.
But I mean, I guess with like a lot of people with conditions such as BPD about abandonment and stuff, it's most likely your head,
Yes.
Like at least that's...
At least I tell myself, I tell myself that because I have CPTSD, it's complex PTSD. It's
just like PTSD,
complex.
Okay.
It's exactly like PTSD, but instead of one event, like a war, it's multiple. So like things like narcissistic abuse or any kind of consistent abuse that you've endured, you'll have a trigger. And I think a lot of foreigners, like at least immigrants or something, all of us probably have CPTSD. Like I don't know if you were ass whooped. But if you had any of that, I think we were.
System, so
all Nigerians.
That's a good gateway to schooling because, like, it's hard to even describe how heavy, like, in Iran schools. And I don't want to victimize I don't want to make this a sad.
No, you're talk for your little boy
for no reason. Like I used to do, like we used to do comedy kind of in school, in a sense that we would just like we would make jokes. Me and another friend of mine would do jokes for the kids, the other kids, and we would just like do sets, basically do impressions of teachers or whatever. The things, there were just some like sexual jokes. Like there was like this particular one that I remember was like that. This is a bit like locally racist with Iran, which is not cool. But there is a particular region in Iran which is famous for these people liking anal sex.
Yo,
it's very racist. It's not cool. It's not cool. But let's. So I don't want to be racial, and because I don't like the racial aspect of these jokes. I was fucking 10 or 12, by the way. Dude. So let's just call it a person into anal sex.
Okay.
And now I already gave away the punchline. Goes to buy a robot, and then there's this robot, and the guy's trying to sell the robot. He's like, oh, this robot's the top model. Like, his eyes are laser. His right hand is like a chainsaw. His left hand is like screwdriver, whatever. He's like, all right, I'll buy it. And the guy takes it, and he comes back the next day limping and bleeding and be like, you motherfucker, why didn't you tell me his asshole was a grinder?
Oh, right? I don't even have a dick and it hurts.
Like shit like that, just stupid shit.
And I remember brilliant.
Once, I remember once they just like call us to the office. They just like beat the shit out of us. Like this particular friend of mine, I remember,
abused.
He was like being choked like Darth Vader. Like the guy just like lifted him up from neck and they would like kick you in the side. I remember they would go like, you have to do push-ups, and if you can, I'm gonna kick you in the side. And these are like adults and we're kids, and
exactly.
And since it's happening to everybody at the time, you don't.
You don't know that you're being abused. We was abused. Facts is facts.
And
no wonder
I can't tell my parents either, because like
they were abused too.
No. But here's the thing: if I like, in my case, I told my parents, and my dad was like, I'm gonna come to school and I'm gonna like talk with them. He came to school. He talked with them. As he left,
you got it worse.
I got it worse, and they said you're not gonna tell them, and they would mentally do stuff to you that you can't even communicate with your parents. It's like really taking people hostage. Bro. You know what I mean? It was only by the end of the year that I was like, can we change the school, that I could like say it now? And then they were. I even didn't say it for so long because of the fear. You know.
I 100%. I relate to that. I didn't have that with the school. It's so wild. It's very. We also got ass whooped, but that's another. Yours is like all kinds of like. No structure. No, ours was institutionalized. It was very structured. We got asked for it in front of the whole school, depending on our crime.
So you went to school in US, you mean?
In the US, they would go to jail. That shit was not allowed in America, but in Nigeria.
So where did you go? Where did you go to school?
I went to all three. Okay. Mostly.
Or tell me about the difference between Hungarian schools, Nigerian schools, and US.
Okay, I'm gonna start with the US school. I had what's good because I have AD. High school was in New York State. Middle school was in Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah. But there, let me just start off. I was so relieved because, like I said, I have ADD and I was undiagnosed. And we had even private teachers, and that shit didn't work. Mm-hmm. I was always like the last or the second last. I was like, I'm dumb. I even remember planning out my life as a dumb person. Like, I remember I couldn't tell the time at the time where I was way past it. And I was like, I guess I'm dumb. I missed the class, and I don't know how to tell. I just know 1, 2, 3. I don't understand all the other shit. So let me just plan my life. So, but going to America, I thought it was so much easier. I mean, I was still like a CB student, but it was a lot easier. And we didn't get ass whooped. And a lot of students had attitudes. And I was like, shocked. I'm like, they just, no, they're not getting no beatings. But in Nigeria, if you failed school, you failed class, you get a beating at school. I never got a beating in front of the whole school because you had to like do something really bad. But failing in class, you get beaten by your teacher. And usually, if you're failing class, you'll also get beaten at home. Mm-hmm. So it's like part of the culture. Like that's straight up abuse. Like, and you wonder why we fucked up. Like, why I'm always late. Maria, don't be late. I was late all my life, even when it wasn't my fault and I got beaten. Mm-hmm. So imagine your kind of brain. It's like when I'm looking at time, I don't look at it like a normal person. Oh, it's okay. I have 5 more minutes. I'm looking like...
Always in a frantic state of like, as if you're... like the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Alice, Lewis.
Yes.
I love Lewis Carroll. I think those stories, even if you read them, like he has like pictures and all the music sheet. He has music sheet.
Oh.
Motherfucker in 18th century wrote soundtracks to his. You know what I mean?
God.
Like you turn the page and there's the music sheet.
I can believe that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And. They say he was on acid, though. I don't know if it's true. Like he wrote it on acid.
Listen, a lot of the great artists, a lot of the great artists have.
Yeah.
Even Steve Jobs.
Sid Barrett, the Pink Floyd, guy, like the guy who started Pink Floyd. He has some crazy songs where you just go, how the fuck did he come up with
your
this?
brain?
But he had schizophrenia too, by the way. On top of it, yeah, and he got lost that after a point. He got to a point where he was like,
if I had schizophrenia, I would not be touching.
Yeah. Anyways, but so can I ask, you said you went to school in, what's the general, because I want to, I've studied American studies.
Yeah.
So I'm like really interested in US culture and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Well, how is it different going to school in Kansas versus New York City? Because that's the transition Clark Kent made.
Really?
He lived in a small town in Smallville, Kansas.
Yeah,
right?
And
then he moves to Metropolis, which is based on New York.
Yeah, but it was not quite as fascinating because I lived in Lawrence, Kansas, and then Kansas City, and then New York was not in the city. It was in the boondocks. It was like an hour away from Rochester.
Okay.
And it was in a crazy evangelical.
Was it like
how you see Muslims, they were very close to Muslims. Like they were very to the book evangelicals, and they also don't eat pork like the Muslims. They also blame the women for covering up, cover up because the men are animals.
Is it the Nigerian community, like the evangelical Nigerian?
No, this is American. This is a nuts. I'm so sorry, but I'm still very much angry. I think I had a whole decade of anger for that motherfucking school, and I'm not dissing the people. Some of my best friends was from there, but because of that, I became an atheist. Eventually, I was like, any kind of religion is a cult to me. Like, you can't unsee. You know how, once you've seen something that's, like you've heard the truth of something, you can't unsee it. You know, that's kind of how it is with that religion. 4 years in that school where they didn't believe in evolution. You know, they're like, in the name of Jesus, if you come to the world. I remember thinking,
Did you have music?
The music was the bomb. The music was the
like
only
it was
thing.
all bluesy, gospel,
I wanna praise you. Yeah. I wanna praise you. Yeah. I would go. It's very segregated.
Yeah.
I would always go to the black church because the white church was boring as fuck.
And the food was better, I guess.
The food was better, but the black church, I would only go for the music. After that, because it was all day. I was like, I can't. But at least white church knew how to do it in 1 hour, finished. You know, they don't go. You know, in the black church, I'm like, damn, shit, man. It's when we go. So it's at 5 o'clock already, man. It's dark. We got here in the morning. It's already dark. Like, it's a whole day. Everybody fanning, you know. But I remember. I was a Catholic when I went to that school, and you know how like Christians are, and they give me this kind of creepy vibes where they're like, it's like a very fake smile. I'm like, I don't believe it. That's fine. Oh, Jesus loves everybody. Mm-hmm. And then they were like pressuring us, and I was never gonna convert. We were the only Catholic, like the only evangelicals. And then all of a sudden, one time, I don't know where my twin did this. We're not close anymore, so I can't even ask her because I really want to know what the fuck she was thinking. We were in church and this crazy little pastor was going, I didn't have to faith in the name of Jesus. And I just like, you know, I was like, this bullshit.
Yeah.
He was like, come to the front. You know how it is like.
Yeah.
And she stood up. It was like a horror movie, and I was like,
did they exorcise like her demons and stuff?
I don't know. Did she just went and she accepted the Lord Jesus or some shit?
But did you like shake and just do?
They were doing all kinds of shit, speaking in tongues. And then I remember thinking, I was like, either I'm correct that this is all bullshit and everybody is crazy and they're the ones, or it's the other way around. I'd rather be the crazy one. Like, I accept. I was like, give me this fucking Bible. I'll fucking read this shit. Let me see. You know, I just gotta pray to God, and okay. And that's. Yeah.
Well, I had the experience with the Scientologists, and no, I wasn't in it. I used to work at a language school, which ended up being Scientologist, and I escaped as fast as I could. So no, I didn't fall for them, but I had to go to these trainings where I would lose my job basically if I don't go there, and they would corner you, and it's all really crazy.
It's called.
But they're called, but they're exactly like that. Like they all have this crazy smile, like Tom Cruise and John Travolta and all those motherfuckers. You're like, how is he learned to like John Travolta's piloting a plane, and Tom Cruise jumps off a fucking Burj Al Khalifa. How? Because they're high on fucking Scientology.
Yes. I mean, that's a drug.
That's a drug.
It is.
They numb your fucking senses.
And I know what it's like because I
was
was in a cult myself. Yeah. I was in the Catholic cult and then the evangelical. And I remember there were doubts. It's not like I was like, oh, I believe. I remember many times I was like, if I go out on the streets, like, can I defend this shit? I remember because it was a boarding school. So I just remember like, if I go out, can I be like talking about Jesus? Nah, I mean, I only like it because all y'all believe it. It's like we're all safe. We all believe in the same bullshit, you know?
Yeah, but you see, this is the thing. The thing is that, like for example, one of the things they did, I'm gonna do it. So you just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Because of your natural reflexes. Try not to do it. Try. It's hard. Yeah. But that's one of the practices they did, and not this mild. They would go like,
creepy shit already.
And then. They would reach, like they call it operating T or OT. And then if you are OT, that means you're a fucking robot at this point, right? Because they've numbed all your fucking senses. And so you're not reacting normally the way you should. So then they say you can overcome your human needs, right? Or suppress them. In other words,
they're killing people.
Then you have different levels like OT1, OT2.
I heard.
And then when you read like Elron himself was OT 8 or 9, and there's nothing higher than that. Tom Cruise is 7.
But the top one is. I heard that like when people paid all the way to the top, it was utter bullshit, and they're like.
It's like Patreon.
What the fuck is this?
It's like the Patreon model. You got the $5 members, you got the $10 patrons, and then the $100 one.
And then you see that your product is shit.
You get Discord benefits. Like if you're OT8, you're gonna get a shout out and you get Discord benefits and Belle Delphine's bathwater. Do you know Belle Delphine? Oh no, that's what this is what the Gen Zs are doing. Belle Delphine is a Twitch star.
What's Twitch?
Okay, so this is
Nintendo.
No, it's where you stream video games or anything. You can just stream comedy or whatever. And then people watch live. I think I got you hooked on some new hit TikTok. Maria, follow Maria on, what's your TikTok?
Maria Mama, but like just Maria. Like M-R-I-A.
M-R-I-A on TikTok, Maria. Follow her. And what's on Instagram now that we're plugging?
It's just Maria Mama too. Lady Hurricane, but I think it's Maria Mama.
Maria Mama Comedy, the new one.
Oh, Hurricane Comedy.
Hurricane Comedy, the new one, yeah.
Yes.
So on Twitch they stream. And then you tip them, they play... You know, like this.
I want to do that shit. Can I use my Oculus on this Twitch shit?
It's like non-sexual.
Bring me to the 21st century,
bitch. It's like Chatterbait, but non-sexual.
Wow, I like that.
Where they play games.
Bro, what is it called?
Twitch.
You better teach me. Because
you're welcome, world. See, this is... I'm responsible.
Yes.
See, I'm taking all credit if she...
I teach you TikTok.
So Belle Delphine is just like did it in her like bathtub with like but then now you can't do that anymore, I guess. But it was like kind of like a lot of people simps were in love with her and stuff, you know. And she was selling her bath water for like I don't know, thousands of dollars.
I'm so jealous. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I mean,
me too.
I would do it.
You know, nobody's gonna buy mine.
Bath water, man.
Yeah,
shit, my cans, my empty cans.
Let's see.
We can try to sell it. Let's see. There's crazy people. Shit.
Yeah.
Smelly socks.
I can't even get people to watch this, man. Let alone buy my fucking bath water.
As long as we got good topics to talk about, I think that's what draws people. I mean, we could put some of this stuff on the TikTok.
I used to be on
the TikTok.
Yeah, I'm doing like putting clips and stuff.
Yeah.
But I used to be on only audio, but then I'm doing video now. I uploaded the first video episode like yesterday.
Wow.
Solo, yeah. Then I'll do this after whenever I...
And when you're doing solo, because, man, I grew up with... I'm working on this. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to say that, I know that I had codependency, you know, especially going through trauma with my twin the last year of my parents' death and all this shit. So till this day, there's a part, even though I've been living on my own, I've been survival, like, with no support system, all by myself, I still have this feeling that every time I'm even trying to do this podcast, I'm like, I just need a partner. You know, just somebody that, you know, so.
I like solo because I just like, you know how I ramble?
Yeah.
On my own.
But I like your rambling because then it makes me feel normal.
Yeah, but you do it too.
So that's why I'm like,
think actually out of all the people, I think you're somebody who can just sit here.
Absolutely forever.
This microphone is so good. Even when I like lift it,
I'll get another one,
it feels like a fucking spaceship. Yeah. We just tried monitoring that thing. It's
so
guys, good. If Portals to Terra will one day get one of these, it's so good. I'm
still learning. My old millennial ass is trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah, we're like monitoring the audio from this, and it sounds so smooth. But I didn't bring my mic, so what we're doing with the camera mic. It's
my comedy book.
It was empty. Yeah, so we were talking about schooling and whatever. Let's move past that. What else?
Yeah.
Just we got into church.
Yeah, the church. But the reason why I said the church thing was because the school. You know how America, it's secular, but because it's secular, there's so many different religions, and everybody can believe. There's no persecution of who. Yeah. I mean, Christians are the rulers, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And so that school was. That's why I said it. Like my school wasn't the normal, typical, jocks. They're cheerleaders. I was a cheerleader, but it was like, there it was different. It was like the opposite. Like all the cool people were not cool, and all the dorks. Were like, all I am to serve you, all I am to...
But that's what it is in general.
No, it's not like that.
In our even in Iran,
really?
The nerdy ones are the ones who are making music.
Yeah.
And they're not really cool. The cool ones are the jocks. The cool ones are whoever's like into more sportsy stuff and the
toxic
motorcycle people
and I mean, but that's where like public high school.
Because I used to do shit and nobody gave a shit. We did rap at the time.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, a friend of mine was making beats and I would write lyrics and rap on it.
That I used to write music.
I also got into making beats and then I started to have piano lessons and then that's why I'm writing songs now. But it all like started.
Wow,
it all started from me rapping. Actually, I think the first song I wrote was at 10. I used to write songs on a voice recorder, but I didn't know anything about music. I just went like doom, dum, and then the tonic note, and then I would do the chord like on it and be like play other notes on the tonic, and then remember in my head to mix them that what chord, like I didn't even know what chord is, and then I would make these pop songs, which is kind of based on all the pop songs that I was hearing at the time, because how original are you? Like the more you listen, the more your sound becomes
original
melding of all the
that's human.
All
that's
the
anybody.
songs, exactly. So I was thinking that one of those songs. I thought about it and I'm gonna remake it actually. And I'm so excited to actually hear my production of now as 27-year-old.
Oh, your inner child is like
making
screaming.
That garbage song that I made when I was 10 with like orchestral shit on it and strings. I want to put strings and stuff on computer, computer plugins, free plugin. Everything's legal.
Legal.
Everything has been legal. Don't come on my ass.
Don't come on.
But I made this like the intro of this also like with those, and it sounds really good. Even a lot of the stuff I use is like free plugins, like I don't want to name it, just I don't want to take risks, but they are, and they're really good. They're really because they've recorded an actual, for example, grand piano in a studio, like a Steinway and Sons and Steinways, and then you can hear the claviers, and it's just on my MIDI controller. On my computer.
Damn, so you were always an artist.
You get one of those, man. It's like $30K.
Damn, man, but I first gotta be using this shit.
Yeah, but in general, if you want to like get into it, like
maybe
it's $30K.
We'll see.
You get a MIDI control. It's an Alesis. I have an Alesis MIDI controller, and with it there comes the It used to have Ableton. I don't know what app, but they also give you a digital audio workstation, and this used to be 20-some thousand. I think now it's 35 max, and it has like 4 octaves.
Well, send me a link and just tell me.
Yeah, or you can even
Or I can even what?
Find the second hand on Facebook Marketplace, for sure.
Man, I'd rather get another one of these.
So speaking of music, you were on the Hungarian X Factor.
Yes, we're right.
I'd like to hear the story.
Man, which one? I was on it 2 seasons. I was on it when I first came from.
How's the experience? Can you just like walk us through?
The first experience was very different from the second one. First experience was when after I graduated in Florida and I was coming to Hungary. I was gonna be a lawyer, so I was gonna take the exam, and the whole plan was just to be here for a year. So of course, music I've always written when I was little, like just like what you were just describing. I have my own version, not with rap because. It wasn't until later that I started rapping.
What genre is it? Like
I did
blues,
just music.
pop,
it was like probably like R&B, kind of like I mean, looking back at the old songs, it sounds 90s, But so it was like fulfilling my childhood kind of dream. But I didn't actually apply. My brother put me in, to the application. I think it was Csillog Születik, and then X Factor called to be like, oh, you want to come? And that's how it started.
So it's an agency, Csillog Születik.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like it's another show.
Okay. It's another show.
It's just like it's on TV Capture.
Yeah, you were going through an agent, like the agency.
It was just an application.
Okay.
I didn't even fill it out. I was like, sure, but I didn't think about it. And then, I got invited to do audition. And then I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool. Like, this is actually like my childhood. Like, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm a lawyer. And then I was like, this is my dream. I was like coming back to Hungary. That time I saw it as heaven.
Yeah.
I had a reality check, but I thought Hungary was like way better than America. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, this is my dream. This is cool. I'm going to be singing in Hungary. I'm going to work on my Hungarian. And, how cool, I could really live here. I could really do this. I would be famous in Hungary. And then, but I was so shy, and I was so like my Hungarian. I was so embarrassed coming here with my accent, and I was just like I barely spoke. I was like just see ya, and I just was like I just want to go in there, sing, go back. But it's a reality show, so obviously I didn't make it past the boot camp because I really wasn't like I didn't have a personality. I was just singing, so I was just known to be the relative of Bartok, which I was like, that's what I was like. Y'all know Bartok like that? Like, what, like I felt like I was related to Beyonce.
Bartok Bela, everybody, the great Hungarian composer.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
very fucking awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so that was, they were like, oh, if I told you that Bartok's relative is a black person with dreads, would you believe it? And I was like, I don't got, back then I was like, I don't have no dreads. What the fuck you talking about? Now I do, but. And then the second time, it was a bit different. I'd been here, I had struggled, I was like overcoming depression. I was in my lowest, I was broken down. I'd just been, I was taking antidepressants, and I started rapping. What you were doing since childhood, I started doing it because I'd already been writing poetry, I'd been doing books of poetry. It was just a way to, and I'd always been journaling, but it was just, this felt like a better way to express my emotions in poetic form and with rhythm, because rap is rhythm and poetry. So I'm like, I'm so hurt, I'm so angry, I don't have nobody to understand me. Let me, say this. So I started doing freestyle, and I would just post it on YouTube. Looking back, it's so embarrassing, but and they saw it and they called me, and I was like, man, you didn't, I didn't go far, so how do I know I'm not interested. They're like, yeah, but I mean, we're calling you now, like, it means you're probably gonna make it far. We saw your rap and everything, and I was like, my rap? Okay. They're like, you can win 12 million forints. I was like, 12 million forints? Yes, because I needed money. I was so broke. Okay. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm definitely gonna win. So I was like, I'm gonna be on. So
the prize is
12 million. Yeah.
Okay, but what if you don't win? Do you?
You still get like something.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's nothing.
They don't need to disclose it.
Yeah, and.
But it depends on at which level you last, and you're. That's good.
Yeah,
then.
Same with like the hotel, like.
You might not want to do it. Okay.
Yeah. But the next
don't
one
make
is
it
good.
hard
Okay,
for me.
I'm sorry.
You know what you can say and what you can't say.
But no, the second time was the best experience because I was first of all, I could speak Hungarian better. It didn't seem as scary because I could speak Hungarian better, and I was 100% trying to be my authentic self because I was all about my healing journey and all about being real and myself, and I did not give a fuck, if I would embarrass myself because I was like, I'm already a mess. And then what was brilliant was people were liking my mess. They were like, you're so funny, and I was like, really? So I was like, I love y'all. I can stay here forever. Can we have this whole boot camp for a whole year?
It was one of those boot camps where, because I haven't watched X Factor really, but I used to watch American Idol.
It's like American Idol.
The season, by the way, where Casey Abrams and Haley Reinhardt was such a good season because those two were really into blues and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're now working together. Do you know Postmodern Jukebox?
No.
Where they take pop songs like Rihanna and whatever, and they make like 40s kind of.
That sounds amazing.
It's so good, and so yeah, and they were there, and they would do like Casey would play double bass, and Haley was like this classic singery type, and they would do covers of like House of the Rising Sun.
You have to. I need to know what Haley what?
Haley Reinhardt and Casey Abrams.
I'm gonna put on my Spotify.
Yeah, those guys. You could see that they would like hang out in this one room where everybody's like doing vocal warm-ups and stuff.
I love
that. What did you?
Yeah, yes, I love that.
Isn't it crazy that all the sounds doesn't it bother each other? Or empowers you?
For me personally, like I said, I have ADD. My brain is already like, I'm sitting, it's like a party up here. Like my brain is constantly like, brr, brr, brr. Like if it could be in words, it would be allowed. Everyone's like, it would be like I was in a party. And so there I felt at home. It would be a nightmare like taking a test and everything's quiet. I can't focus. That one I was perfect. I could move. And perfect when we had choreography. I felt like it was for the first time in my life, all my childhood, I was like, they're like, Maria, you must sit, you have to shut up your mouth. You know, and I had to go, you know, memorize. This place I could, la 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 la. We could sing, yeah, and we'd just go to the far corner and we'd be focused.
Awesome. Yeah. And also, now, can I ask about, like, so the songs that you chose?
Yeah.
How did you make those?
I didn't choose them.
Did they tell you what song to?
Yes.
Based on, like, your
Basically, like sometimes it's like random. Like some of us got screwed. Like they'll put us in a group, and like I remember one time it was me and this really pretty girl. She was a really good entertainer. She was a good singer and dancer. So me and her, we just clicked. I was like, all right, I'm alto. You seem like you're high. You're a soprano. You're probably gonna be bass or whatever. Then there was this dude. He was my age. The dude looked like 20 years older than me, and he couldn't speak English, so the music song, the English song was horrible. So it was a challenge. I just got paid. We had to sing I Just Got Paid, and imagine this. Who is the dorky? You know that guy? I don't want to. You have to cut this part off. You know, think of like that. Like
I'm gonna keep it in. No.
You're gonna make me look like I don't care. You know, I have a disability. I'm developmentally behind. Okay, I'm at 37. I feel like I'm 27. I probably feel like I'm 17. Okay,
you look like it too.
Yeah. You know, my brain is still like, thank you. The dancing pop, you know, group, and we're supposed to learn the song, and we had to learn the song within a few hours. You know, we had to learn. You know, I think we had a few hours together. Then we would sleep. Then the next day we would perform. So we had to learn that shit quick. And actually, this is a fun story. I actually remember, you can actually still Google it. I remember it was like three of us and he wasn't doing the dance. He was just like not moving. And the girl was like, well, how are we going to know? I'm like, girl, this time we just got to go for it. And I told him, I was like, just improvise, you know, just go. Because he's like, you think I should sing? And yeah, it was just like, I was like, you know what? Just be yourself. Because in my mind, I'm like, either we're all going today or he's going, because it's, you know. And so he went up there and he went all out. And it was comedy. It was comedy gold, because he was like, it was all.
I hope I don't have to edit this out.
No, you don't. He can't. He probably won't watch it. He speaks.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's watching.
Everyone was laughing. They're like, "Do you really think you can sing?" And he was like, "But how much are they paying?" Like,
oh my God. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not a big fan of competitions. Because it kills the, like, who are you to judge?
No, but that's the best thing that I felt there. I did not feel like I was competing.
Yeah.
I mean, until later, of course. But I didn't feel that, you know, we were all enjoying and singing. I think that's why I loved it. It was not one of those schooling, like when we're in school.
No.
And it's
like, I'm talking about American Idol, so we don't talk about the NDA.
Yeah.
So, because we had some goals here that we had to take out. But so in American Idol, I don't like that they literally, they play good cop, bad cop with the judges. And again, please, let's not talk about X.
They do that with every.
Yeah, and there is a Simon Cowell there.
Yeah, and everywhere.
I hate this Simon Cowell, and I love the movie Whiplash, because I have had experience with really a vocal teacher who threw shit at me. This guy was just like crazy. He had temper issues, and he was just like Whiplash.
No wonder we're fucked up. You had Whiplash.
At that point, At that point, I was like 16, and I had the strength to. When I saw that, I was like, "Listen, I'm not putting up with kind of shit." You know, there was an age for me where I stopped taking shit. You know, and no, he was after that. So, but still, the fact that he would abuse the passion somebody has for music or something like that. And I remember it was just like, this is so kind of embarrassing, because then I had to go through, if I went through, like, I just went there for 4 months or something, and then I came here. Yeah. So it was like, I was like 17, whatever. And if I did all the vocal exercises throughout the months and could do them properly, which was, you know, it was like the fifths and the fourths and la 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 la, I don't want to Because, my breath, guys, COVID is serious. Take care of yourself. COVID is fucked up.
I've been writing my will over and over. Still, till this day, I'm like, my shit goes to my nieces. Because none of y'all fuckers get my shit.
And so he said that you can choose a song. And the song they chose, which is so embarrassing, is Hurricane by 30 Seconds to Mars.
What is that? I don't know.
It's like Jared Leto's band. It's an emo. It's
Look,
like
I had to sing some weird shit.
Me and 15-year-old girls, like it was like, what was it called? It was like, these hurricanes chasing us all under. No matter how many times that you told me you still couldn't. It was like that. And I was like singing that, and I was singing this particular version of the song, which is the MTV Unplugged version, which is on another scale. And I'm trying to explain this to this guy because I'm not singing out of tune, and I'm playing it for this guy. But this guy refuses to listen, and he's actually wrong, because then I checked with my piano teacher, I checked with my friends who are great musicians, and everybody was like, yeah, no, that's what it is, So anyways, this guy was just mad, and he supposedly did like concerts there. So yeah, I just don't like that aspect, because that's what was turning me away from music. But the moment where I went, like, what I really liked about the indie scene in Iran, or the punk rock scene in Iran, or all the underground kind of music, is that it's so raw and so garage that nobody gives a fuck about whether if you're doing it professionally.
Yeah, that's what I love about this kind of
sound is clean or not. It doesn't matter. It's for me how creative, and that's why I love the indie people, because they come up with a lot, like Pixies, like the band Pixies. It's a punk rock. I think you've heard the song "Where's My Mind" from like movies and shit, or the "Hey, I'm trying to reach you, and born in my head." No, the Doolittle. There's this album called Doolittle.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, I don't know what's the basis.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a reference to that.
No.
It's just called Doolittle. It's a punk rock album.
Damn,
and it's so raw.
I've never heard of this.
You should check it out.
I will. I have Spotify. I'll check.
And it's and then but it's very creative, and they just have this catchy. It's just as punk rock as possible. So that's what I write. And what I don't write punk rock music, but I use principles of punk rock.
That's amazing.
Which is not to give a fuck. And I think I use principles of punk rock in my life, in my comedy. I think I learned all of that sort of from punk rock and indie music, because punk rock doesn't care. You hear even amp like distorted sound, like and shit, in the recording, or some Pink Floyd songs where
you like some of the books that have the art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, I know that book.
It's not. It's up. I have
I know that book.
Yeah, my sister-in-law bought 2 of them for me. Right. One of them, I don't know. The 2 of them, it's the same author, but it sounds the same. I was like, yeah, because I need to learn my ADD ass.
Have you learned?
Yeah, little by little. Like you know how like when you're growing and healing, you reach another level, and then you look back and you're like, wow, I can't believe I did. But then you do something similar, but it's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm not giving a fuck, but I give a fuck about certain things that are important to me, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But people, I try not to, of course. But
Yeah.
Sometimes if I see that it's in my head over and over again, I take it as a sign, like something, if it's coming up to get out. It's like an African proverb, not African or Native American.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
If it's coming up, it's coming. Your thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it I'm like, get the fuck out. Yeah. I'm tired of you intrusive thoughts, man. God damn it. Or like when I'm walking down these stairs.
Mental gag reflex.
Yeah, when I'm coming down, every time I come down here, my brain will be like, "You're gonna fall." I'm like, holding on. I'm like, damn, well, you're gonna fall, and you're gonna fall right there and break all your teeth in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you in my brain all the time.
Yeah, I know. I'm in my own brain too. It's a pain in the ass.
It's a fucking pain. When people complain, Maria, why are you like this? I'm like, how do you feel? How do you think it feels to be me?
Yeah.
Always, it's following me. Yeah. I can't get away. You can go away.
Can I use your laptop?
Yeah.
Thank you. But I wanted to ask you, speaking of not giving a fuck and letting go,
Yeah.
I think we're in a very crazy part of mankind's history. Um, what do you think about it?
I think we're in the
Speaking
baby
of not
stages of.
giving a fuck, it's like Jeff Bezos going to space. Economic injustice to the point that it's just crazy. Like the historical Dutch bridge, they're disassembling it because Jeff Bezos's super yacht, which has other yachts on it, can't pass.
You know, I could never be a billionaire because I can't. You gotta like. I mean, I just can't. I can't even imagine that because you would have to be exploiting a lot of people to be able to still keep that much. And I don't think like I would be like. I don't feel like I don't know. This is my issue with people are talking about the empath and now everyone's like making fun of it and it's kind of like when I realized because there's this TikTok trend that's like me it's a sound and like me an empath being able to sense some shit. But then I discovered that apparently empathy is a human emotion. It's a normal thing, and the narcissists actually lack it. And the people who are claiming who feel it a lot, they usually are very traumatized, and they're trained to be able to. It's not that I'm like such a good person. It's just my brain is. Some of us turned out to be narcissists. Some of us are watching and turn it outwards, like turn it to I'd rather make sure you're happy so I feel safe. I'm happy versus narcissist. I'm happy, I feel safe kind of shit. What was I saying now? Oh.
Yeah, I don't believe in this whole empath thing though.
There's no empath.
There's the indigo children kind of stuff.
Huh?
You know what's indigo children?
No, I don't know.
Back in the 60s, they used some hippie shit like
no, this empath
to
is not
say
hippie.
we're different, but no, we just kind.
No, that's
kind.
when
But
people
these
say empath,
we're born like as a different.
Yeah, that's
people,
what I
whatever.
discovered.
Like, no, that's also very egotistic to start to go like, I'm so special because I have basic empathy.
Totally.
You're a fucking sociopath if you don't have
Totally. No, this is what I was. We're basically saying the same thing. That there's empathy, which is a regular like if I'm telling you about like a horrible story or something, you're gonna and I don't know how much unless you're a narcissist, you're gonna feel my pain. And even narcissists may feel a little bit. But there's the people who are thinking it's special. Either they're narcissists or some form of some shit, or they're so traumatized that they think that other people don't have it, then I must be special. When in reality, you're traumatized and your brain is it's just hyper magnified empathy. It's like narcissism. All of us, there's a healthy form of narcissism. We all have to have it. It's just the people who have a disorder, they got stuck in the child form. So they're still kids. So all of us have a bit of narcissism. Theirs is just extreme. Like they can sleep at night doing shit that we wouldn't be able to do. So basically what you're saying is it's a regular emotion, and those people that are saying, oh, I'm an empath, it's like that's woo, like that's we all have empathy, we all have a little bit of narcissism. There's just the people who are extremely empathy, they're traumatized, and then the narcissists, they're extremely traumatized too. So both of them are same shit, but they turned out different. The different coping mechanisms. So am I making sense?
This is like lyrics to Joni Mitchell song.
Okay.
But it's actually a Beat Generation poem written by Kerouac, Neil Cassidy, Allen Ginsberg, and another one. I think William Burroughs. The four of them got together and wrote this, and it goes like this. It goes, and my analyst told me that I was right out of my head. The way he described it, he said I'd be better dead than alive. I didn't listen to his gibbering jive. I knew all along that he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head. He said I'd need treatment, but I'm not easily led. He said that I was the type that was most inclined when out of sight to be out of my mind, and he said that he thought I was nuts. No more ifs and ands or buts. They say as a child, I apparently a little bit wild with all my crazy ideas, but I knew what was happening. I knew I was a genius What's so strange when you know that you're a wizard at 3? I knew that this was meant to be. And now I heard the little children are supposed to sleep in tight. That's why I got into it in the vodka one night. My parents got frantic, didn't know what to do, but I saw some crazy scenes before I came to. Now, do you think I was crazy? I may have been only 3, but I was swinging back then. They all laugh at angry young men. They all laugh at Edison and also at Einstein. So why should I feel sorry if they just couldn't understand the idiomatic logic that went on in my head? I had a brain. It was insane. Oh, they used to laugh at me when I refused to ride on all those double-decker buses, all because there was no driver on top. Man, this chick is twisted. Crazy boob, shoobity head, flip city. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head, and I said, dear doctor, I think it's you instead, because I got this thing that is unique and new. To prove it, I'll have the last laugh on you, because instead of 1 head, I got 2, and you know 2 heads are better than 1. So that was it, and yeah, so about what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Guys, go listen to the Joni Mitchell song about
you're giving me new songs.
But we can't play it, yeah. Okay, let's wrap it up quickly.
All right.
So in the end, we do. Oh wait, we're talking about about the world, like how crazy the world is these days. Like,
I mean,
and
not
even
these
COVID,
days.
even COVID aside, you know what I mean?
It's not these days. The human race is wild. I mean,
Did you see Metaverse? Like Zuckerberg's Metaverse, where he said that we're now all gonna be in a. It's legit saying.
I know. I was literally on VTime and I talked to people with the avatar.
No way.
That is so wild.
You can do that.
You can try it. You can literally,
but
you'd be dressed as me. They'd be hearing you guys.
Wow.
But yeah, it's wild.
That's you know that.
And there's even a dance one that that shit. I don't know. For me, it's like I felt like I can breathe because you're like you have these things and you're dancing and you have to. It's kind of like Dance Dance Revolution, but you're in it.
Have you seen the Black Mirror episode called called Striking Vipers?
No.
So can I spoil it to you? Spoilers.
You can go ahead and spoil
people.
it.
I mean, it came years ago, but
I watched it. I watched all the.
It's the one where the 2 Anthony Mackies in it, and they're playing video games. So they basically
and they were fucking.
They fuck like two heterosexual bodies.
Yes. I know, that was so wild.
Have sex as their avatars. And then there's that monologue I love when he's like, but it doesn't work if it's not you. I even fuck the polar bear to feel something. And it raises really interesting questions,
so wild.
man. Like why do we have sex? Like
can you
we wrap this podcast with fans sending us some alien stuff. Like, no, I'm joking. Aliens want to know about Earth because this podcast we're supposed to be in a spaceship.
Okay.
I mean, now I visited. I have up in the spaceship. There's a cat called Bowie. The cat.
That's so cool.
He's a space cat. But when I do video, there is no Bowie, obviously, because
Yeah. But then when you watch it,
I voice Bowie.
But when you watch it, you see it.
No, I'm not that good. I wish I could actually edit Bowie here and have another character. Yeah, but I don't want to do so much hassle.
Yeah.
But what I usually do with Bowie, I'm just sitting there with one mic. I switch back and forth on Audacity between 2 lanes, and one of them has shit ton of filters to make my voice like this, bruh. Bowie the cat. You see, Bowie the cat's voice kind of like this, bruh. But Bowie the cat is inspired by Pauly Shore, man. Do you know Pauly Shore? Totally Pauly, man, from MTV back in the 80s. Like, Pauly Shore is like Mitzi Shore's son, the person
who a bunch of shit, like MTV in the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, it remained online.
Wayne's
for
World.
Long after 80s. But we did, I grew up.
I remember Wayne's
We
World.
watched Full House when I was a child. But my mom was also into American culture because she was there for a while. So she was exposed to.
What about British?
No, because my mom was in US, so she picked up all this stuff in US, and then when she came back, and she was just we were always watching Full House, and Knight Rider and that shit like that. So it was all like the.
Well, Knight Rider, I remember.
Yeah,
I hated that shit.
It was so fun, no?
I didn't.
It was, but then there was Buffy also, Buffy the Vampire, but they're the newer ones. Like, but they showed there was everything.
I don't know what the newer one. There was.
Yeah.
I know the old one. I don't know when the first one was. Like, I have no idea. I just remember middle school. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
And then any new one, I'm like. Ugh.
But then later, these things became more valuable. Like Knight Rider, of course, his past. I was born Knight.
Yeah.
I won't say it. But it's like in the early 90s. And not because I don't want to age, it's just like.
Yeah,
too much info already.
Security purposes.
Too much info already.
You know what? You're right, because there's some weird people online. I mean, I sometimes get random people I don't know, calling me on DM. Has that happened in front of you?
Not from. No,
it's
from
LinkedIn. People won't believe me. I'm like, I turned off my notification just because people will, and it still goes. It still happens.
I know which one. The crypto people and the NFT.
Not crypto.
Bots. No.
It was just like it happened after X Factor, where just random people were just like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna pick up.
Okay. You became famous. That's unfortunately I haven't tasted that.
No, that shit is scaring me. That's why I'm like, I don't even know about computers because I'm like, I'm not that important. But what if some dumb fucker is just like, I want to see, you know?
If I was like that, if I ever get famous like that, I would answer all of them.
No, I don't answer because they're weird.
I'll be like, hey, hello.
Or I got dick pictures, the white dick, just like, you like?
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, why?
Oh my God. No.
Why?
No, yeah. The amount of dick you guys have to go through is just like.
Yeah, it's crazy. It sucks. Being a woman fucking sucks. Yeah. I swear God is punishing me.
You should wear these to protect you.
Yes, I feel
from all the.
No, but I love that shit though. Like that shit is.
Yeah, no, to protect you from the dicks also. That's why Zuckerberg wants to make an AR reality, because like there's no dicks there. But you need to.
Yeah, they're like
exactly. Fake.
Yeah,
everybody would have. Everybody would be
Barbie
Jason
doll.
Momoa. Everybody would have an elephant trunk.
A punishment, you ain't got
Jason Momoa. So with our alien audience, we first explain something about Earth to them, a concept about Earth on Wikipedia.
About humans?
And then we answer advices of random people on Reddit. So let's go to Wikipedia. Let's see how does this go. English, Espanol. Okay, no. Okay, the Winter Olympics. Let's explain. Winter Olympics. This is kind of like improv game, like Andy kind of game. Okay, so let's
Winter Olympics
for the aliens.
Yeah. Winter. There's this thing called the weather, and I don't have to go to.
No, that's a good beginning.
And so a lot of people. Most of the time, most of the people doing this shit is white. They less melanated complexion. If you're doing this. And they win medals and they get money for it. Yeah. But some people with my color. There's Jamaicans.
Okay, go
we
ahead.
had the first bobsled, but I remember in high school, which is a place the kids go to school. My teacher was like, "You guys should be the first Nigerian bobsledders, because I'm sure you're
What's bobsledding?
It's some random shit that no African plays.
Can you explain that to our
bobsledding is some kind of winter sport.
What is it? Is it the one where you have to mop the floor?
I don't know if it's this or they're rowing in the ice.
Is it the one where you mop the floor behind the ball and then the ball has to... Okay.
Maybe, or something. I don't know. I'm imagining like both.
It's ice janitor.
But I know that ice janitor shit. It looks like a hockey, like...
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he was like, yeah, you should do it. I'm sure you will be able to immediately get in, because nobody's qualified. So you'll be in the, then you can say I'm in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
And then and then so basically they also give you a coin, a token.
Yes, a big one.
A big one, which is a substitute for, like, if your, genitalia is small, let's say, you can do many things. You can buy enlargement stuff.
Yes.
You can
cut it off if you just give up.
Yeah.
It's like, that's too small.
You can go do comedy. You can do country stuff. Performance arts, comedy, podcast and stuff. Or you can do Winter Olympics, and it will and get one of those, and it will totally substitute for whatever you lack. Like,
Yes.
is it emotional like support that you never get as a child? It could be
It could be
substitute
that.
for that. It could be.
Matter of
like,
fact, most of us run our
smoking.
lives like this, trying to accomplish what our little child always wants.
Exactly, and then so it says that in 2020 games are subject to various concerns and controversies related to human rights violations in China, including the Uyghur genocide. I think it's true. We don't want to do
Female genital
genocide.
mutilation. Ooh,
Yeah, we don't want
that's her.
That was
You know,
gen-
people
no,
are
no,
suffering.
it's-
Okay, that's another thing about human. We are vile. Some of us are vile. We be doing the creepiest shit.
But they
Did
don't
you
do
know
it-
there's actually a show
But
called
they don't do it in Olympics. They're not mutilating
not in
anyone's
the
genitalia in the
Olympics.
Olympics. It's a different.
But which remind me, okay, about
Yes,
another
yeah,
time.
no,
There's
that's
a
it.
show called Adults Adopting. There's the creepiest. I'll show you a video after this is done because this is insane. It's an adult. If you're, I guess you can be adopted by some of these people, but usually the people adopt
Oh my
are
God.
creeps, like
Oh,
creepy.
they adopt adults?
Yes.
Slavery, kind of, no?
What?
Because you own an adult.
They want,
you know,
they
like-
want, or they want some kind of like free prostitution sign.
Oh, shit. But can you ever get out of it?
I don't know. It's
So
a
they don't
reality
really
show.
own
They're
it.
putting it. There's literally a clip I just saw, and I was
Mhm.
like, "When is this out? 'Cause I gotta watch the whole thing. I gotta watch it."
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus, okay. Let's one more concept and then we'll move to the COVID-19 is very obvious. We don't want to go there. So let's go back.
We don't want to scare them.
Yeah, you don't want to say. This year's African Football Championship.
No, this year is Black History Month.
Ebola virus epidemic in West Africa.
And
Do you
it-
want to do that?
I can talk about it's Black History Month,
I'm
the shortest month
Okay.
in the year. Black History Month
Wait, Black History
is
Month?
in
No.
February.
It's
February,
isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
and I'm
okay.
American. I'm not
so
a
sorry. I'm so
black
sorry.
and I'm
Then
American.
what is June?
Juneteenth. That just happened.
Okay.
It was just created. It was.
Oh,
It's
because
one
of
day.
George Floyd, or
Yeah,
is it-
because after
okay,
George
okay,
Floyd
I'm
something,
so
I don't
sorry.
even
Okay.
really know the. I'm still learning it, but it was like how the slaves, the first set of slaves, whether they were free, and then I
Oh, so
don't
it has
know
nothing to do
something.
with George Floyd.
It was from the George Floyd that the government was like, we're gonna give you something else.
Okay,
Like
okay.
here, we love you, black people. We know we're killing you, and it's
Yeah.
mass incarceration, which is another form of slavery, literally.
Yeah,
You know that shit.
Yeah.
We got people in jail for weed.
yeah.
Now it's legal in America.
And then it's systematic. That, for
Yeah.
example, there is this,
and white people
like people
making
from
businesses
the,
now. While people who needed to survive in the hood, they were guns.
Yeah, and it's like I think the question is like the thing is that why is it that the white like more suburban neighborhoods could get away with stuff and the target is on like the specific.
Yeah.
This story happened at, I'm not comparing, but
racism
in a lot of places,
is real over there.
A lot of other countries also. There's this things that you push a certain minorities or whatever to not even minority. I wouldn't even say black people minorities, but
But the oppressed, the minority, we call minority.
to a certain area, and then let's say when there's crime or something, you say, oh look, but you don't say that. Okay, so this. You don't
Black
spend
on black
as much
crime.
money on their school. You don't spend they don't.
It's perfect. They need
and
it
then-
in order for the
Yeah,
system to work.
But the thing is that the white people who also go to those schools, commit the crimes, and it's always like that. I think even in Iran we have with certain
Yeah,
I don't really want to get
we're
into that, but
humans,
with,
it
with
works, yeah.
Afghans or we have so much
Same
we
with women
can't
and
even-
men.
yeah.
With there's so many intersections of these things. Even
Yeah.
with women and men, there's things that men do that women just cannot get away. Even narcissism, that overt narcissism, like Trump. Most of the narcissists are men. Those kind of overt kinds. You have to be different. So
Mhm.
women. So I understand every society in every way. There's always the other.
What do you think about the future of black people in America?
I
Do
think
you
it's
think you're
gonna
making
get
good progress?
Yeah, I think but I don't want to be too optimistic, but I think so. I have faith in, and I know it's gonna sound like, cause like I like the, I'm a conservative, but I do believe in the Constitution. I do like the system. I do like that there's secularism. That I mean, yes, there's a long way to go, but the way it's set up, it's not rigid. So you can alter, and there's a system of threes, like the president, the Senate, and the House. So so there's no way. That's why Trump could be kicked out, and he could be impeached, but
Winnie the Pooh.
still fucking here after over decades.
We'll cut that out, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're
so
cutting that out.
yeah, okay. But I got, okay, like, I don't want to get me.
Know,
you know what I'm saying? My family love him.
Both of us are here.
Yeah.
And we know that.
Or I can mention any other.
I know at least in America.
Or Nigeria.
At this point, they can't come get you. They won't come get you for saying.
Yeah.
Or the fact that you can participate.
Yeah.
The problem is that people maybe didn't participate, and that's what led to problems.
Yeah.
But if people have a good means to participate, if they do, like if you do,
but we also need an educated society,
in your
because
local,
I'm spurred.
exactly how to vote,
because they're dumber than, like, science is going way faster than education. So it was even Carl Sagan was worrying about that. Was saying that he worries that the technology is going to go so much faster than education, and that's what's happening. That's why you see a lot of people talking about woo-woo science and cult shit. That I used to hate religion. I mean, which I still do. I don't really like. I'm so angry at what the damage it caused. But I look at, it's not just religion. I see people doing the same shit. Like, even if they say, I don't believe in religion, then I'm like, oh, cool. Then they're going to skip to some other woo-woo bullshit. Scientology or whatever.
It's about
I'm special, and I'm, like, I would see these TikToks about, these nurses, and then they start talking about spirituality. I'm like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about, man? They would talk about science, and you're bringing out this stupid, they've got the demons, and I just skip. That's what I mean. That people are just, how can you make informed decisions when you're thinking like these Santa Claus? Like.
To the advices, I just go to Reddit, and the things that I was coming up with was random. I go on Wikipedia, whatever is the topic of the day, one link to another link. So Reddit advice, and try to stay as random as dating advice. Really, that would be good. I just went to the okay. COVID posts and comments no longer allowed. Thank you. That makes it better here. Okay, my boyfriend has a weird relationship with his daughter. Do you want to get into this? No, let's skip this one. My mom pocket dialed me having sex while I was sitting next to my stepdad. My stepdad has been in my life for as long as I can remember, as he and my mom got together when I was 6. He is the best person you will ever meet, unquestionably a good person. He bikes to work because he doesn't want to pollute. But those are always the craziest. Yes. He cleans and cooks all the food at home. During the first few months of COVID, as he is a boss, he made a basket to all his employees with chocolate, their favorite snack, and flowers that he delivered. This guy is a serial killer. Yeah. Like, if you're so fucking nice, there's something wrong.
I know. I'll be suspicious.
Yeah. He has always.
Why are you so nice?
He has always done everything for my mom. I know he used to have a crush on her in high school, and they got together now years later. For Valentine's Day last year, he gave her a love poem every day of February. It's pretty clear that he has always been some relationship unbalanced to me, and I have always thought that she didn't deserve him. I'm still in high school. On Friday, I go home, and my stepdad, let's call him Alex, is making homemade pizza from scratch. I ask him if mom is coming home. He says that yes, she's coming home soon. We eat and talk for a while, but she doesn't come. He makes an extra pizza for her so that she can eat it when she comes, since she's at the office working hard, in quotation marks. My mom has always worked late, but especially the last 2 years, she's regularly coming home after 12. From an external perspective, this is unbelievable, as she has a high-ranking job. This is believable, I'm sorry, as she has a high-ranking job. My phone calls, her name appears on screen, and I pick up. There are a bunch of noises making it apparent she has pocket dialed me. For some weird reason, I don't hang up immediately. as I usually do. I wanted to ask her if she was on her way, so I said, "Mom, hello, Mom," hoping that she would notice the phone. Then I hear a low male voice suddenly moaning. I'm obviously in shock. I immediately understand that I'm listening to someone having sex.
Oh.
The moaning continues and becomes more...
Why wouldn't she hang up? Like, I would, like, that's so traumatizing. I'd be like...
That's why, I know for a fact that Kanye is listening to Kim and Pete Davidson right now.
Yeah.
And he's like masturbating, right? Fetishes, I don't know. So, the moaning continues, become more fast-paced and high-pitched, like.
Ew. It's her mom. Like, I wouldn't even want to be describing
kind of the guy he has is that for a few seconds I listened to this is really not knowing what to do. Before I hang up, Alex is sitting right next to me, so obviously she was not having sex with him. There is something slightly traumatizing in listening to your own parents having sex. I'm completely grossed out and disgusted.
Yeah.
I can't even look at her anymore. I'm infuriated. I cannot. It gets really long. Let's get to the end of it.
Yeah, I would be so grossed out. Like, it's horrifying.
Yeah, I would never be able to look at her in the same way. I have no trust. The moaning. In the morning, she said she was going for a walk. Alex is at our cabin fixing the pipe. Immediately, Alex is the good guy, man.
Oops.
Remember?
Yeah,
the guy
we
who
were
sent baskets. Oh, man.
Oops. Okay. Who knows? He could be that person anyway. We just don't know.
Yeah. So what should...
She should never do anything.
Should you tell Alex?
Well, no, she should. I would never. Like, it's not my business, honestly. Listen, I've learned the hard way. Listen, unless you want to be dragged in, why? What's the point?
Yeah.
So then you're gonna be dragged in. The mom's gonna be mad at you. He's gonna be hurt. Who knows? Maybe he's gonna take her back, and then they get mad at you. I don't get involved with no couple shit. I've done that by mistake.
That's really good advice. Don't get involved, even if it's your mom.
And her biggest mistake was, why would you leave it? Like, I wouldn't even hear. She's like, lonely be getting higher. I'd be like, make me forget. Take it away. Like, she's describing the whole shit, man. That would be like, I'd be suppressing that shit. That shit would go to me to the grave. Like, you crazy.
Okay, are my cats safe? My friends recently gifted me an essential oil diffuser and a clove and cinnamon oil to go with it. I just tried it out for the first time today. I put it together. It ran for maybe 5 minutes before I realized that there could be a toxicity or safety issue for my cats. They were in the room, but not directly in front of the diffuser or anything. I googled it, and the oil that I have is not safe for cats. I turned it off immediately and have my windows open and a fan going to try and air out my room. I don't know if I'm overreacting or not. Okay, you have OCD. I think this person is also suffering with OCD. What the fuck? Just wait 5 minutes. She hasn't waited 5 fucking minutes, and then is already on Reddit, and everybody's like they should be okay.
I need to talk about this Reddit. I've been seeing Reddit stories on TikTok, and it's fucking wild. So you're on it? Do you actually write?
Yeah.
Do you write?
No, I don't ask for. No, I used to write I write like theories, Game of Thrones theories, or I sometimes answer monopoly.
This might be the best place for me to like get real shit because I can't talk about shit.
It's actually kind of toxic. It can be toxic. Like, don't accept anything because it's just like some people are trolling. It can be very toxic, you know.
Okay.
But also it's my favorite place because like if you go to the right subreddit, there's the right people. I also found a lot of good stuff, but you gotta filter it out because sometimes
that's tough.
You see all sorts of stuff. So yeah, be careful with it. Yeah. Anyway, so I think we'll wrap it up. Any last words to the audience? Do you wanna?
See you next time at my next podcast.
See you next time at what is your podcast? Do you have a podcast?
I don't have a name yet.
Well, we'll keep you posted of what's her podcast. It was awesome. And,
it was super fun.
Yes, this has been Portals to Terra. Prepare your brains to get
Portals to Terra.
Yeah, and now there is also like I think I'll freeze the frame for like 2 minutes.